everyone. Just let me get this set up. Hi everyone. How are y'all doing? Happy Friday. I cannot believe it's already August the 20th. It is almost the end of the summer. Just things have flown by. So, as you can see by the title of this video, we're doing things a little bit differently today. I'm not going to be talking about a specific topic that I usually kind of talk about. I want to hear from you what questions you have for me, and I can help you by answering your questions. I also asked on Instagram, on my Instagram stories, so we'll see if some people have questions there, and then I'll be answering those questions for you. So before we kind of get things started, how is everybody doing? Let me know in the chat how you've been doing. For those of you that have been here from the beginning, thank you. It's been, I think, May, June, July. It's been like almost 3 months that we've been doing this for. So thanks for sticking with me from the beginning if you've been here from the beginning. And let me know what you've learned over this time that you've been here with me. What are some things that you learned about? What was maybe your favorite video? And yeah, let me know in the chat. So I can talk a little bit about my experience. So when I started, I think it was a little bit unfamiliar to me doing these live sessions. It was something new for me, but I really have enjoyed them, and I've enjoyed chatting with you through the chat, seeing different names and getting different questions, talking about different health topics. To me, it also helps me maybe even like refresh some of the stuff that I've maybe learned before in school, and then read different articles about things, and just keeping up to date with things. So it really does help me that way too. So I really enjoyed that. Yes. Someone mentioned in the chat today was hot. It was a very hot day out today. I was outside playing some basketball, and I was starting to get really hot and feel a little faint. Like it was really hot out there. It was, I think, about 33 degrees Celsius here. So yeah, it's a hot day. Yeah. So let's see. Good. I learned that there's many natural remedies that are simple and effective that most people don't know about. That's very true. Example, ginger from last week. Yes. So last week when we were talking about travel and how ginger is helpful for nausea and stomach upset, I think that, yeah, there's definitely lots of natural remedies that are helpful that you may not know about, and that are very effective with minimal side effects. So it's always good to try something new, something that's going to be effective with not as much side effects or worsening of things, rather than maybe trying the conventional thing first. And there's obviously a place and time for both. I like these sessions. I learned lots of good tips for healthy eating. Well, I'm glad that you've learned lots of tips for healthy eating. I will be posting smaller videos too, as I mentioned before. I've been recording some of those, so stay tuned for some of those things where you can see shorter clips of certain things. I kind of mentioned that I was going to be maybe changing the way that I'm going to be doing the YouTube channel. So what I'm thinking of is focusing more on building a community where people can come together and talk about their health issues, and talk about what they're going through, and I can help and give some insight and give some education and information to help you overcome some of those symptoms. And then people can learn from each other and learn from others in the chat, and maybe learn something new from what they're experiencing, rather than me just picking a topic and talking about it. The focus that I want to focus on is gut health, because I feel like that's a pretty broad topic, and people experience that, rather than maybe not everybody has arthritis, or not everybody has let's say period pains or something like that. that's fine if people want to ask those questions too, but I think the focus is going to be on gut health, community, where we can talk about those kind of things and help each other overcome those obstacles. So that's kind of the focus that I want to go with. It's going to take some time, of course, to get more people on here, get more questions asked, but the more people and the more questions asked will be really helpful. So, yeah. Okay. So, do any of you have any questions right now for me? It can be anything, anything that you're experiencing, whatever question you have about your health. If you're having challenge with something, let's talk through it and help you overcome those barriers. So somebody mentioned that they liked the sleeping session. Yes, that one was a good one, and I always find with myself that the blue lights and the computers are a huge thing that interfere with my sleep. Like I noticed the other day, I can't remember if I was either on my phone or computer doing some work close to bedtime, and then I had a hard time falling asleep. So I found that that's a big trigger for me. So if you also have issues sleeping, go and watch that video and see maybe which one it is that you're kind of having issues with, and some of those tips were really helpful. Okay, so I'll be checking my phone also frequently just to see if there's any questions in Instagram. I did post it a little late, so we'll see. But yeah. Anybody have any plans for the weekend? I know that things are, some things are opening now. I was noticing that some people were posting even videos from concerts and things like that, or even outside music festivals, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, let me know what you're doing this weekend. Yesterday I had iced coffee and it was not decaf. I didn't fall asleep until 4 a.m. Oh, I know, I hate when that happens. I not sure if he ordered it to be decaf and made a mistake, but that is a huge trigger for me as well, not having a decaf coffee, especially depending on what time you have it at. If you have it in the morning, it tends to be okay, but coffee does take sometimes like 12 hours to get out of our system for us to metabolize it and to feel good. So even if you take it at 12 o'clock, then you might have some difficulty falling asleep at nighttime. So if you're going to have a coffee, try to have it at 8 a.m. and have it with food in the morning. It's a little bit easier on the stomach. Things finally open. Hopefully they don't get shut down. Yes, hopefully they don't get shut down. Enjoy your weekend if you're going out and doing some stuff, and try to enjoy it, because if it does shut down, then we won't get to enjoy it. I just had McDonald's iced coffee. They don't offer decaf. Bullocks. So, no, some places don't offer, so I noticed that some places don't offer iced coffee decaf, and I think that's because they brew the coffee and then they chill it, and I guess they don't brew a decaf pot and chill that either. I'm not sure. I know some places, if you get a latte, for example, if you go to Starbucks and you get a latte, they have decaf espresso, so they can do it. But some places like Tim Hortons, McDonald's, that aren't super fancy with the types of coffee that they have, they won't have those options. So unfortunately, yes. Hopefully you can fall asleep tonight. What are some diet tips for people switching to the Mediterranean diet, as mentioned before? Yeah, so some tips for that would be make a grocery list when you're going to the grocery store, kind of going through that video that we talked about. So basically the most important thing of that is having those good healthy fats. So I would say invest in some good quality extra virgin olive oil, get avocados, get some nuts and seeds, and try to do it slowly. So if you could slowly integrate the diet, because as I mentioned, it's a lot of healthy fats, fiber, and then less of the sugar and meat and dairy. So pick something that you want to start with. Whenever you're doing any type of whether that be any type of diet, any type of health protocol, you always want to kind of like pick one thing and integrate it slowly into your routine, and then start adding the other things in. So think of what would be easiest for you. Is the healthy fats the easiest for you to add into your diet, or is it easy for you to maybe cut out the dairy, or is it easier for you to reduce your quantity of red meat, or is it easy to add some fish into the diet? I always find adding things in is a little easier, depending, like whatever works for you. So I find like adding things into the diet tends to be a bit easier rather than removing. So maybe you can add in a serving of healthy fats a day. So like how many healthy fats are you eating right now? If you're not eating any at all, start by adding them in one meal. So maybe at your breakfast you can add in half an avocado. If you're already good with eating maybe it at your breakfast, then maybe adding in a snack of healthy nuts. So that can be an option, and you're slowly going to integrate that daily. Or if you're eating a lot of red meat, let's say you're eating red meat every day, or you're eating red meat 5 days a week, cut it down one day. So cut it down to 4 days a week. And then eventually you're going to cut it down, and then you're going to go down to like every other week or even once a month. And I know that's challenging because we tend to think like, what can we eat if we don't eat meat? But we have to be a bit creative, because there are definitely other ways that we can still get protein and good sources of iron for our bodies. So again, like maybe switching up meat for fish once a week. And then those, I would say that, let me know, was that helpful? It's basically like slowly integrate things in, and that would be a good way of getting some things into the diet and slowly integrating into a Mediterranean diet. Okay, let's talk about the next COVID wave. Are there any natural remedies to boost immunity? Yes, I did do immunity, how to boost your immune system live stream. So you can go back and check that one out, but let's just recap some of the things. So one thing that's not really talked about that's so important is really just our diet and our exercise. Those are great ways of boosting our immunity and reducing inflammation in the body. When we have inflammation in the body, we're more susceptible to getting certain infections and sick. So always good diet and exercise. So whether that be even just walking, or a stationary bicycle, or even just doing some weights or stretching in the morning, taking deep breaths. Something like to get your blood flow moving can help with that. And then diets, we talked about having a lot of antioxidants in the body. So this is great for improving our immunity. So have some berries at breakfast, or have orange or grapefruit. Those are also good sources of vitamin C, which is important. And then now that seasons are changing, that's kind of when we start getting sick. And we even talk about this a lot in Chinese medicine, where it's called the change of season, and there's actually something called the change of season soup or change of season tea that is helpful for when we switch. So what you can do is even taking some herbs to help improve your immunity. So some of the herbs that you might want to take note of are astragalus and codonopsis. Those are two good ones to help gently gently boost the immune system, but they're gentle sort of immune herbs. They're not super stimulating like a ginseng. So that's some great ways of adding some herbs in to help boost your immune system and help prepare for maybe another wave of things coming. Other things can be zinc is a good one to take during this time. So try to take around 25 milligrams of zinc a day can be helpful. Take it with food. It's a little bit harsh on the stomach. And then other things would be going and getting your vitamin D levels tested. That way you can properly dose and know how much you're going to take. Because even if you're taking the recommended dose of 1,000, 2,000 a day, that might not be enough. So get the levels tested, and that way you can properly dosed, because vitamin D is super important for immunity. So hope that was helpful. Let me know if that kind of cleared things up. But I would say what you can do is some zinc, some healthy fruits in your diet is great. And then looking at your vitamin D, and then consider looking into some herbs that you can take during this changing time. Like around September time, and then when people go back to work and school and things like that, you're going to get more sick. So this is a good time of trying to boost up your immune system. Okay. I'm just going to see if there's any questions. I see that you guys have some. Okay, there's one there, but okay. Let's see what other questions you have here. I have been exercising 5 times a week and have not lost any weight. I'm thinking I have to stop eating. Well, I wouldn't say to completely stop eating. That's never good, because then you're going to starve yourself. But yes, you need to look at what are you eating, and then what kind of exercises are you doing. And then also, how old are you and where are you at in your life? So, because it does depend. So, for example, you want to make sure that every meal has like protein in every meal and healthy fats and fiber in every meal. That's very important for the blood sugar control, because there's something called insulin, and insulin is what takes the the sugar that goes, like glucose that's in our blood, and helps to bring it into the cells, so it prevents you from getting spikes in the blood sugar. And we can get insulin resistance as we get older, so even checking something like your insulin levels with your blood glucose is really important to seeing if you have any insulin resistance. That can be a factor in weight. Other things like thyroid plays a role in that, stress hormones, so if you're stressed, these are things like that you want to kind of figure out if you have a root cause of any of those things. Is it any of that? If not, then maybe it's coming down to diet. So like I said, making sure every meal has protein and carbohydrates with the fiber and healthy fats, okay? Even your snacks. Are you snacking a lot? Are you having sweets that are spiking your blood sugar? That can be causing some insulin resistance. That can be affecting your weight. So look at those things. Another thing, if you do have some insulin resistance, there is some research around intermittent fasting, and that is basically when you have a certain period of time. So basically you eat for 8 hours and then you fast for 16. So overnight, as you're fasting, it helps with insulin regulation and insulin sensitivity. So you would basically eat like at 10 in the morning until 6, or 11 to 7. Or if you can't do that, you can do like 10 to 7 or something like that. And then during that time when you're fasting, it helps to regulate your blood sugar. Again, that would be helpful for insulin control, but also with weight management too. So you really want to, if it is that you're working out that much, are you working out too intense that you're putting your body into stress? Are you not doing enough, like a mixture of things? Are you not doing enough weights? Are you not doing enough cardio? There's lots of different factors that can play a role in weight. So those are some things kind of to look at, but I would say look at the diet and making sure that you're not having a lot of snacks or unhealthy snacks, like too much sugar in the diet too. Okay. When cutting out something like sugar, what are some easy to do, like some easy to do's? I would not say it's not the easiest. If you're very dependent on sugar, it's not the easiest. But I would say, like, first cutting out the most obvious thing. So, like, if you're having a piece of cake a day or something like that, then cutting that out rather than like maybe cutting out pieces, smaller things, or actually maybe it would be easier for you to cut out sugar from your coffee. I think that depends on the person. So if you're having like sugar added to coffee or soda with your meals, maybe that's easier for you to cut that out first rather than cutting out the most obvious sweet. But maybe it's more easier for you to cut out the piece of cake or the cookie every day because you love having sugar in your coffee. I think you have to kind of it depends on yourself, like what is the most easiest thing to cut out. And then I would say always replace it with something. So if you can't, if you're used to having like a slice of cake after lunch, then have something else. Maybe you can have a bowl of berries with some unsweetened coconut yogurt, or you can even have dark chocolate with almond butter or something like that. Having snacks that maybe are a little bit sweet but they're a bit healthier because you're going to be getting like the natural sugar from fruits. Or you're going to be getting like a dark chocolate which has some good antioxidants in it and doesn't have a lot of sugar in it if it's like a 85-90% dark chocolate. So I would say something like that, and having some good swaps, having some good healthy snacks ready on hand. We did like a sugar cravings video before with some healthy snack ideas, so some things like that were like having hummus and crackers, having apple slices with almond butter, making energy bites and freezing them in the freezer so you can have them ready to go. I think when cravings and like sugar cravings hit, that's when we tend to like just jump to what's easy. Also having water, so making sure you're staying hydrated because if you're cutting out sugar, you might be like craving something or noticing that you're a little thirsty, so making sure you're hydrating with water. Let me know if that was helpful, if that answered your question about cutting out sugar. And that goes for cutting out anything. You might always want to first try to replace it with something because that's still going to be giving you calories. So when you cut it out, you're going to get hungry because you're going to be missing calories. So replace it with healthier alternatives. Like replace it with an apple, even if you just go and grab an apple and have that. That's a healthier solution than having something that's like refined sugar and refined carbohydrates. So if you're used to having cookies, like I said, after lunchtime, have an apple instead or have some fruit instead. I think it's important to always replace with something, otherwise you're going to probably get hungrier because you're not having as many calories as you did before. Okay. Somebody asked, is it echoing for anyone here? Let me know, is it echoing for any of you? I can't tell. What do you like doing during the summer? Yeah, everybody let me know. What do you like doing during the summer? What did you do this summer that was your your favorite thing to do? I really like going on hikes in the summer. I find that it's a nice way to get out in nature. If you can go by the water, even better. Just hiking through a trail, I find that just really helps me feel calm, and I tend to be cooped up or working inside or working at the clinic or whatever it may be, and when I go out and enjoy those walks, I find that really helpful for getting some good exercise in and just helping like calm me down and being in nature. So that's probably one of my favorite things to do. What else? I think just maybe seeing some friends and hanging outside, and that I kind of didn't get to do that as much really this summer just because of all the closures, but I think that was also a fun thing. Hanging out with people outside is nice, and just whether that be having a barbecue or having a glass of sangria or something like that, just enjoying the nice weather outside. Okay. It's kind of echoing. Okay. Let me see if I can. change something. Is it like, is this more than it's usually been echoing, or did it ever echo before? For anybody, let me know. I can try a different thing. I'm just, if I mess it up, I will. Okay, let's try something else. USB. Can you hear me? Is that better? No, just today. Yes. Try the camera mic. Okay, I think I am trying the camera mic. Let me know if that's better. Can you hear me? Okay, somebody mentioned Laura Gorge hike is really nice. Oh, nice. Yes, Laura Gorge is nice. It's got like a nice area by the water. So that is nice. Yeah, I like that too. Okay, so there was a question about, I don't know. Okay, good. Acid reflux tips. So with acid reflux, there's certain foods that you want to try to avoid that tend to be triggers for most people, but it always depends on the person. So this can be things like coffee, tomatoes, spicy foods, citrus things like oranges, lemons, and things like that. Even like tomato sauces, fatty foods. So these kind of foods you want to try to avoid because they can trigger acid reflux. So whether you want to like completely eliminate them and then work on healing, your gut first, and then you can add them back in after. So that would be one tip. Another one is eat smaller meals, because too much can then cause distension and can cause regurgitation and just bother the sphincter. So that's like the sphincter between the esophagus and the stomach. Like it basically opens and closes and allows food to go through. So eating smaller meals is helpful. And then also, don't eat too late at nighttime. So eating like at least 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. Those are some really helpful things to help with managing acid reflux. Let me know, does anybody experience acid reflux? Let me know in the comments what you've done to help with your acid reflux. I'm lucky that I don't actually experience acid reflux. If anything, out of all the digestive symptoms, it's bloating that I experience, which I've worked on that and have been able to help reduce that a lot. So for me, it's more so bloating, and I know it's triggered by stress and certain foods, but also stress can trigger acid reflux too. So let me know, is that something that you've all experienced, and what did you do to kind of help heal that? I would say that those few things are really helpful. Like the foods, eliminating the foods, having smaller meals, and not eating late at night is really helpful, just like a good start. And then there's other like herbs and things that can help out too. But I want to hear from you if you've experienced that. What else did we? Any other questions? I tried McDonald's iced coffee on a Sunday. So good. So yeah, I was saying that's so like ice cream with coffee is called like an affogato. So you have what's it called, like a vanilla ice cream, and then you pour a shot of espresso on top. That's really good. So that is, yeah, pretty good. So some tips for acid reflux that we got coming in the chat are drink water. Yes, that's very important to stay hydrated. You might actually, with water though, you might want to not have too much with your meal, because that can dilute your digestive enzymes. But throughout the day, it's very important to drink water. Eliminate tomato sauce. Yeah, so tomatoes are very acidic, so that is a big trigger. Tomatoes and tomato sauce. Yeah. So, okay. If anybody else has any questions, just let me know. If not, we can wrap it up. Also, like I said before, thanks everybody for joining me and hanging out with me every Friday and being with me, here from the beginning. I'm sure you already know, but have subscribe to the channel. I'm sure you're already subscribed, but if you're new here, subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, and it really helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting things noticed, so we can get more people coming here and asking more questions and joining our community. And share the channel with anybody that you think will benefit from it. Ice cap with 2 shots of espresso. Yes, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. So, like I mentioned at the beginning, I was talking about having more of like a gut health community. So I'll basically ask people on Instagram if they want to be a part of a gut health community where I can help them with their health goals or certain things that they're experiencing. But it sounds like a lot of you already experience some gut health issues, and we'll also talk a lot about nutrition too. So gut health and nutrition go hand in hand. So just, if there's anything that you feel like you need to work on, or the things that you kind of asked me about today. So you asked me about the Mediterranean diet, you asked me about weight, and asked me about the immune system, and then what did somebody else ask me about? Well, what I like to do for the summer and stuff. But the questions that you asked me, try to go work on them over the next week. Come back next week and let me know, what did you do? How was it? Was my advice helpful? Was it a complete crap and you want more advice? Let me know and we'll kind of talk again. And that's kind of what I want this platform to be like. I want it to be able to help people access education and health information. Of course, it's not medical advice. I'm not your doctor. I cannot give you specific medical advice, but I can help you and to help you try to figure out what's going on, what kind of issues you have, and how we can help overcome them. So I'll try to ask some people on Instagram to come and join us who wants to be a part of this community. But let me know in the chat if you are all interested in the kind of the new way I want to take with the channel, and let me know if you're still interested in coming back every week. I don't, like I said, I don't want it to be a specific, I just kind of go and lecture you on about a topic, because it can get a little boring, and maybe that advice isn't applicable to everybody. So that's kind of why I wanted to be let's just talk about gut health issues. And I think a lot of people experience gut health issues, whether that be IBS, IBD, constipation, diarrhea, bloating, reflux. They don't know what kind of foods to eat. They have issues with sugar cravings. They don't know how to have balanced meals or balanced snacks. They're not getting enough nutrition. That kind of stuff I want to talk about with people and be able to help you reach your health goals. So we'll kind of just continue this with doing Q&As and chats where you can ask me your questions, and then we can talk about other things too, and just talk about what's going on in the world, and have some fun with conversation, like we were talking about the summer today and what we like doing. So yeah, let me know about that. Your advice is good. Thank you. Sounds cool. Okay, I'm glad it sounds cool. And then I'll try to, I guess, ask the I did the Instagram poll really late. I only did it about half an hour before we started, but I'll ask the day before, like, people questions, and then I can answer those live on here. Because I always find maybe you can't think of a question, but somebody else might have a question that is helpful, and then that can help you. You should get people to call in. Do you mean like have like a guest, or call me personally? Or call me on Instagram, kind of thing. I don't know how to do that. How do I get somebody to call in? I guess like have them. I guess you mean like have them join by calling. Let me know how that works. Tell us about yourself a bit. Yeah, so I'll tell you a bit about myself. I guess I'll talk a little bit about myself in terms of naturopathic medicine a bit, and then what I like to do and stuff. But I got into naturopathic medicine for many reasons why. A lot of people get into it is because they had health issues and they wanted to follow a natural way. So I had some IBS issues, which is why I love talking about gut health so much. I went to the college that I actually went to now to see the doctors and the interns there, and then I just really enjoyed naturopathic medicine, and that's why I got into it. I find it so amazing how it can help us with our health issues, and the remedies are effective and less side effects, and it just helps with using the body's natural healing abilities. So that's a little bit about me in terms of how I got into naturopathic medicine. And then things about myself, I really like going out on hikes and being in nature. As I've mentioned, I like spending time outdoors, but I'm also pretty much like a good homebody. I like being at home a lot too, and just enjoying a good night in. I love reading and just reading different types of books, and always being up to date with certain health information and learning about new things. What else about me? I played competitive soccer, as I would when I was young, and I think that's probably a good reason why I'm still so active. I think having that integrated into my routine. So I think if that's something that you're having difficulty with, is getting something integrated into your routine is really helpful. You make habits and then you just become used to it. So I think that's kind of why I still enjoy being so active now, is because I was active when I was young and then just did that growing up. So yeah, that's maybe something just to know that sometimes it takes time to make changes, and don't be so hard on yourself if you do something and then you don't see results right away, or you fall out of habit and you have to get back in. It takes time for us to make changes into our health, but that's why it's good to have this, so we can come here and chat about it every week and help keep ourselves accountable to our health goals. So I think that's a bit about me. I don't know much else to say. I like doing yoga too. I like baking and cooking, but I haven't done that too much recently, living in a new space. So, but I really did enjoy baking. I like doing it, I think, more in the winter time. It helps with stress. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I'm going to check if there's any questions on Instagram, and if not, we can kind of wrap it up for today. Yeah, I think that's it. So let me know if anybody else has any other questions. Like I said, I'm going to be posting some more shorter videos too. I have recorded some of them. I just have to edit them. So I'm going to be posting some about some acupressure tips. So that's basically like acupuncture points on your body that you can press on to help with certain things. So I'm going to be posting a couple of those. I'm going to be talking about how you can do what's it called, an elimination diet to help identify food triggers. So keep an eye out for those. I'll be posting them in the coming weeks. And then, yeah, we'll continue doing this. If you don't have any other questions, I'll just give it a couple more minutes. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm going to make sure I answered all the questions here. Yes. Okay. All right, everyone. I think that will be it for today. So I'll see you all next week. We'll kind of do the same format like I did today, where we talk about things. Let me know about the things that we were talking about today and how you've tried to do some of these health changes that we chatted about, and we'll talk about it next week again and see how you're doing with that. And then if there's any other questions, you can always ask me next week. So I think that's it then. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the hot weather. Make sure to stay hydrated so you don't get dehydrated. Wear your sunscreen. And we'll see you all here next week. I hope you have a great day and a great night. Bye.